Okay, hi. Um, First of all, disclaimer. Disclaimer number one. You probably want to make yourself a snack for this video because um it's about to be a long one. So yeah, you probably want to grab those snacks, you know what I mean? Or drink a cup of tea. Um Also outside people are having a freaking festival. I don't know what the festival is, but I keep hearing like Big Bang songs or whatever outside and people screaming. So, I don't know if you can hear that because I'm, filming this on my phone as usual. But if you hear random noises, that is people enjoying themselves outside, I guess. I also, wait, hold on a second. Okay, I don't know why I told you to hold on because it was totally just a little jump cut, but I forgot to bring the most important thing, which is my um, notebook with my notes for this unhinged video that's gonna happen. Now, I yesterday, I don't know, I decided like spontaneously that I was like, oh, I'm gonna start like writing things again, and like, I don't know, I kind of went nuts, but this is like also really unhinged. I kind of just want to like burn it, but we'll see later because yeah, anyway, I read this book. I don't know what kind of mood I'm in. Sorry about this whole issue, this whole persona that's going on, but I read this book, Grasshopper on the Road, literally last weekend. Like Saturday, I was like trying to clean my room, which like this Saturday I actually have to clean my room because they're gonna come do maintenance on the internet. I mean, we're upgrading the internet, so I mean, plus, but also have to clean my room, so not a plus. But anyway, I was like trying to clean up last week, and I found this book that I bought, Grasshopper on the Road by Arnold Lobel, and Arnold Lobel is like famous for Frog and Toad, Toad and Frog, and I guess he's like low key a like gay icon, but he said multiple times that Toad and Frog are actually both him. Like they're just representations of both sides of his personality, where he's like outgoing and optimistic, and also like kind of grumpy and like isolates himself. So yeah, that book is iconic. That series is iconic. But anyway, um, yeah. So this book I read last weekend, and I was just doing, that thing where you like pick up stuff in your room and you just like start wearing it or using it, or like, oh, where'd that thing go? That's kind of what happened like when I read this, because it's like a little kid book, right? So it's just like a few pages, which I think actually I'll end up reading it for this video, but not like the way that people narrate on YouTube, because I actually watched a guy read this book on YouTube to like make my notes because I didn't have the book with me at school. And the guy reading it was like super like inarticulate, like actually could not understand what he was saying. He was like mumbling, and then it seemed like he was holding his phone like under his chin and like trying to, like, he dropped the phone a few times, and it seemed like he was struggling to read the book. And I'm like, this is the level 2 grade 1 to 3 book. Like if you are struggling to read that as an adult who's making a film of it, like we got some problems. Are you just trying to get that YouTube money? It was also like a kid only video, so like you couldn't comment and be like, bro, what is wrong with your video? So yeah, anyway, it was good enough for me to like read the text and make notes on this book, and organize my shower thoughts that I had while reading this book. Now, the other thing that I want to say about this book last week is that when I was reading it, I don't know what was wrong with me. Like, I was probably just going through a psychotic break. But while I read this book, I like laughed so hard at a specific part. So if I start laughing at that part, this time just a warning. It's the worm that made me laugh really hard. But anyway, this is the story, and it has these, like, I don't want to call them chapters because the book is so short, but it's like at the club, a new house, the sweeper, the voyage, always, and at evening, which yeah. Also, the illustrations in this book are just like complete vibes. Like, I love this. I wish, like, I made illustrations in this style because it's really cute to me. But anyway, let's get started with the club. Okay, this is the picture. This is not a kids channel, so we're just gonna look at the picture. And then, a grasshopper wanted to go on a journey. I will find a road, he said. I will follow that road wherever it goes. One morning, Grasshopper found a road. It was a long and dusty road. It went up hills and down into valleys. This road looks fine to me, said Grasshopper. I am on my way. There he is on his way. Very classy, dignified gentleman. Okay, here we go. The club. The club. Now, I don't know. I feel like I should just read it first and then say my comments. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's go. Okay, the club. And it says on the tree, morning is best. Grasshopper walked quickly along the road. He saw a sign on the side of a tree. The sign said, morning is best. Soon Grasshopper saw another sign. It said, 3 cheers for morning. Grasshopper saw a group of beetles. They were singing and dancing, and they were carrying more signs. Good morning, said Grasshopper. And here are the freaking beetles with their signs. Now, I guess I can, like, say my comment about them right now. These beetles in this story are the political fanatics, and you will see why in a second. Okay. Yes, said one of the beetles. It is a good morning. Every morning is a good morning. The beetle carried a sign. It said, make mine morning. This is a meeting of the We Love Morning Club, said the beetle. Every day we get together to celebrate another bright, fresh morning. Grasshopper, do you love morning? Asked the beetle. Oh, yes, said Grasshopper. Hooray, shouted all the beetles. Grasshopper loves morning. I knew it, said the beetle. I could tell by your kind face that you are a morning lover. This is the moment where when I was reading this book, I was like, wait, where are they going with this? Like, what is about to happen? So, yeah, here are the beetles being like, hell yeah, we love morning too. Morning or bust. And then the beetles made Grasshopper a wreath of flowers. They gave him a sign that said, morning is tops. Now, they said, Grasshopper's in our club. When does a clover sparkle with dew? Asked a beetle. In the morning, cried all the other beetles. I don't know why I'm so animated. I am really sorry. When did the sun shine yellow and new? Asked the beetle. In the morning, cried all the other beetles. They turned somersaults and stood on their heads. They danced and sang. MORNING spells morning. They're really hype. Yeah. But there they are, worshiping the sun god. Okay. And here we go. Their opposition. I love afternoon too, said Grasshopper. The beetle stopped. What did you say? They asked. I said I loved afternoon, said the Grasshopper. All the beetles were quiet. The night is very nice, said Grasshopper. Stupid, said a beetle. He grabbed the wreath of flowers. Dummy, said another beetle. He snatched the sign from the Grasshopper. Anyone who loves afternoon and night can never be in our club, says the third beetle. Hostile. The hostility. Okay. Up with morning, shouted the beetles. They waved their signs and marched away. The grasshopper was alone. He saw the yellow sunshine. He saw the dew sparkling on the clover. And he went on down the road. Okay, that was chapter 1. I'm laughing because this has already taken 10 minutes. Okay, anyway. So, I found the definition of fanaticism because in my mind, when I first saw these Beatles, I was like, they are like political fanatics. And it says, fanaticism is a belief or behavior involving an uncritical zeal and obsessive enthusiasm. And like, that is the Beatles straight up. Like, I don't know why they have this campaign about mourning, because I feel like beetles get eaten in the morning by birds, but whatever. It's like they have this really like strict ideology of thoughts. Like, if you don't like the morning, you are not tolerated. And they kicked the grasshopper out. Like, the moment he just said that he liked afternoon too. Like, he didn't even say he didn't like morning. He said he liked the afternoon too. So they have like no flexibility in their little morning party. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep reading this book. That was just a coincidence. That was just for humor, right? I'm pretty sure all of this is for humor, by the way. Like, I'm pretty, like, yeah, I'm overthinking this book for first to third graders. So, yeah. Anyway, the next chapter. This is the chapter that cracked me up so hard. And it's called A New House. And this is the main character of that story. This little worm. Okay. The road went up a steep hill. Grasshopper climbed to the top. He found a large apple lying on the ground. "I will have my lunch," said Grasshopper. He ate a big bite of the apple. "Look what you did," said a worm who lived in the apple. "You have made a hole in my roof." "It is not polite to eat on a person's house," said the worm. "I'm sorry," said Grasshopper. Just then the apple began to roll down the road and onto the other side of the hill. "Stop me! Catch me!" cried the worm. The apple was rolling faster and faster. "Help! My head is bumping on the walls. My dishes are falling off the shelf," cried the worm. And like, I don't know, like last week, this picture like took me out. Like, this commentary and this picture like really, like, I was laughing until I cried. I really don't know if I was okay, but anyway, let's forget about that. All right, the grasshopper ran after the apple. "Everything is a mess in here," cried the worm. "My bathtub is in the living room. My bed is in the kitchen." This also took me out, by the way. Grasshopper kept running down the hill, but he could not catch the apple. "I'm getting dizzy," cried the worm. "My floor is on the ceiling. My attic is in the cellar." The apple rolled and rolled. It rolled all the way to the bottom of the hill. And like, I don't know if you can see the worm's face, but he really did draw this like little despair face on this one. Okay. Keep going. The apple. No, it's still funny. It's still funny. Oh my god. The apple hit a tree and it smashed into 100 pieces. I'm sorry. It smashed into 100 pieces. "Too bad, worm," said the grasshopper. "Your house is gone." The worm climbed up the side of a tree. "Oh, never mind," said the worm. "It was old, and it had a big bite in it anyway. This is a fine time for me to find a new house." Oh, also this picture of his apple exploding. Grasshopper looked up into the tree and saw that it was filled with apples. The grasshopper smiled. He went on down the road. Now, that's the end of chapter A New House. So I wasn't exactly sure what to think of the worm, because honestly, when I read the story, I was just like, he has a point for being angry, because his house is like getting destroyed. But then at the same time, he was just like unreasonable. So I decided the worm is a pessimist. And the definition of a pessimist is, or pessimist philosophy, because there's different between philosophy and just regular pessimist. Life is characterized by needs, wants, and pain, and there's no reason or purpose to suffering. That is the philosophical definition of like what pessimists believe, I guess. And so, yeah, like, so the worm, like, he faced this accident, which, like, is somewhat kind of like a natural disaster, because, like, if you think of him like a person in a house, like, if something, like, if a meteor hit your house and then your house, like, rolled away. I guess you live in an RV, right? And your RV, like, rolls away and gets destroyed. Like, it's kind of like a natural disaster or whatever, but, like, he tries to find somebody to blame for it, which, like, he blames the grasshopper, like, oh, you bit my house, like, you know, it's rude of you to do this. And then, but, like, he also didn't feel like at the end, he just got a new house. And there was, like, lots of houses, because he climbed up the apple tree, which was, like, full of new houses. So, like, I feel like he just assumed that his life was, like, already ruined. And then he just, like, it was like, oh, never mind, it's not. Which, like, I mean, relatable content. But, like, yeah, like, just as easily as he got angry, he, like, easily was just like, oh, I'll just go to a new home. It's fine. Like, who cares? I don't even want to think about the past anymore. Like, it's done. So, yeah, I guess that was the best I could put for the worm, was that he was a philosophical pessimist. All right. Next one, a little bit, made me think of Instagram a little bit, or like TikTok, I guess. And that chapter is The Sweeper. And it's a fly, which is kind of ironic, because I usually think of flies as like being hella dirty, but okay. Grasshopper saw a cloud of dust. Clean, 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 said a housefly who was sweeping the road. My broom and I will make this road as clean as can be. Housefly, said Grasshopper, the road is not very dirty. It is much too dusty, said the housefly. It is covered with stones and sticks and other nasty things. My broom and I will brush them all away. The housefly went on sweeping. One day I was at home, not doing much of anything, said the housefly. I saw a speck of dust on my rug. I picked up the speck of dust, and next to it was another speck of dust. And I picked that one up too. Next to that speck of dust was another speck of dust, and I ran and got my broom. I swept it up, all the dust that was on my rug. Then I saw a piece of dirt on my floor. Next to it, another piece of dirt. And next to that was another piece of dirt. With my broom, I swept up all the dirt that was on the floor. Like, here's him cleaning. I need him to come to my room, because I cleaned my whole house from top to bottom. I even washed my windows. After I washed them, I looked outside. I saw my garden path. There were ugly pebbles on my garden path. I rushed outside with my broom and swept all the pebbles away. At the end of the path was my gate. It was covered in mud and moss. I scrubbed all the mud and moss off my gate. I opened the gate and walked out into the dusty, dirty road. I took my broom and went sweep, sweep, sweep up the road. The housefly said, "You have worked very hard," said the grasshopper. "I think that you should rest for a while." No, 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 said the housefly. I will never rest. I'm having a wonderful time. I will sweep until the whole world is clean, clean, clean. The dust was getting in the grasshopper's eyes, so he said goodbye to the housefly. He went down the road. It's like sweeping. outside like an idiot. Okay. So, the housefly. I wrote down like toxic positivity or futile optimism. And a definition I found was a dysfunctional emotional what did I write? A dysfunctional emotional management without the full acknowledgement of negative emotions. So like somebody will like manage their emotions by like just ignoring all the bad things that happen and just like try to make it positive no matter what happened to them. Like he is like attempting to clean the entire world, which is impossible because dirt belongs in some places. Like, sure, you could, like, clean your entire house, but, like, cleaning your path or your garden or, like, the street is kind of crazy. But, like, it kind of made me think of people who are, like, in really specific niches of, like, TikTok or, like, I want to say YouTube, too. Or, like, YouTube or, like, Instagram. Like, they... Like, some of them are, like, straight up grifters. But, like, people that are, like, oh, like, if you want to get that money, you want to get your, like, you want to get your bread up, you want to, like, get those bitches, you have to, like, not be negative. You have to, like, wake up and grind. Like, those people. But also, like, on the other side of it, I feel like there's all those people that are, like, super duper, like, environmentalist, where they're, like, we have to save the entire planet when, like, I'm definitely not opposed to, like, doing eco-friendly stuff. Like, I think we should do it, but then like these people will take it to a point where they're like, oh, I make like zero waste at my home, but at the end of the day, like, consumers aren't the ones that like make the most waste. Like, the companies make the most waste, but like they try to make us feel like it's our fault. So I mean, some people are trying so hard to eliminate every single thing, but then it's not, like, in the long run, it's not gonna help as much as other things. Like, I don't know, I feel like what's coming to mind is like those activists that were like super gluing their hands to things, and then they were like causing more trouble than like actually raising awareness. But then there was a conspiracy theory that like they were getting funded by the daughter of somebody who owned like one of the oil companies. So they were like, maybe it's supposed to make them look bad. I actually don't know. I don't know. That whole conspiracy kind of just dropped off, and like nobody talked about it. And like, where the Swedish people super gluing themselves to like BMWs anymore? I don't know. They just suddenly stopped. So, but anyway, yeah, other note that I made was that he refused to rest. Like, Grasshopper was like, oh, you should take a rest. And he was like, no, I'll never stop. So, like, I feel like he just has this mentality of, like, oh, if I make it, I'll make everything better. I'll make everything better, like, on my own. Like, I can do it. I can make it better. Which, like, that's not always true. Like, yeah, like, self-improvement is good. But, like, to a degree, there's, like, a point where you gotta stop. Like, I'm not saying, like, give up. Like, Pogi Hajima. Like, I'm not saying, like, just give up, but, you know, if I was a YouTuber, I'd insert that little clip of, I don't even know who that is. It's like a BTS member, I think. Jet V Min? I don't know, but one of them says that, and it's, like, funny. But anyway, yes, the horsefly, or housefly, I keep saying horsefly. The housefly is definitely like toxic optimism or like toxic positivity to the point that he just ignores himself. Like, he's not even enjoying his house anymore. He's like cleaning the street. Now, the next one actually made me mad because we'll just read the story. Okay, the next chapter is The Voyage, and our main character is a mosquito. Okay, Grasshopper came to a puddle of water in the road. He was just about to hop over the puddle. Wait! cried a tiny voice. Grasshopper looked down. At the edge of the puddle was a mosquito. He was sitting in a little boat. Sorry. He was sitting in a little boat. It's a rule, said the mosquito. You must use this ferry boat to cross the lake. But sir, said the grasshopper, I can easily jump over to the other side. I'm like, here's a freaking mosquito. Yo, I hate mosquitoes. What? I mean, who doesn't? Rules are rules, said the mosquito. Climb into my boat. Your boat is too small for me, said Grasshopper. Rules are rules, said the mosquito. You must get into my boat. I can't fit in your boat, said Grasshopper. Rules are still rules, shouted the mosquito. Well then, said the grasshopper, there is one thing for me to do. The grasshopper picked up the boat. Here he is picking up the boat. Picked up the boat. And there's an ambulance driving by. All aboard, cried a mosquito. The grasshopper held the boat very carefully and he stepped into the puddle. Luckily you are to be with me on this voyage, said the mosquito. I've been sailing back and forth across this lake for many years, said the mosquito. I'm not afraid of storms or waves. That was also the mosquito. My bad. The grasshopper took another step. Yeah, because it's literally a freaking puddle. Like, he just like... Bloop. Okay. I know more about sailing than anyone else around here, said the mosquito. Grasshopper took one more step, and he was on the other side of the puddle. He put the boat down into the water. That was a good trip, said the mosquito. Now I must hurry back to the other shore to wait for new riders. Thank you, said Grasshopper. Thank you very much for taking me... Oh, no. That's the grasshopper. Thank you very much for taking me across the lake. I was glad to do it, said the mosquito. Grasshopper waved goodbye and kept on walking down the road. Okay, the end of this scene. All right. It's crazy, guys. Okay, the voyage. So I think y'all know what I'm going to say about this mosquito, right? Because the mosquito made me think like so much about being like in a bureaucracy, because he had rules that you had to follow. Even if those rules didn't really make sense in this situation, you still had to do them. And it's just like he always did it that way. He said he's been sailing for years. He always did it that way. And he like has become an expert because he knows like all the rules and he knows exactly what to do, right? And like the definition of bureaucracy, or the pillars of bureaucracy, are rationality, hierarchy, expertise, and rules based on decision making. So like I felt low-key triggered by this chapter, I think because of like living in Korea, low-key, because like so many things here are like based off like you have to talk to this person to be able to talk to this person to be able to talk to that person, or like you have to fill out this to submit this so that like somebody else can like look at it and sign it, which this person is annoyed that they have to even look at this because they don't think they need to have to do it, but like it's the rule, so they have to do it or it's not official. And then you have to like get a stamp on this thing because it needs to be made into an official, like that kind of stuff really pisses me off. But I just like play along because you have to. I mean, there's nothing else you can do but play along. But like that, that stuff burns me up. Like I have to go to the bank next week and I'm kind of dreading it because like it just so annoying. But yeah, I don't know if like sometimes it's just so dumb. Like I mean, this was dumb too. Like he could walk across the the pond, but then the mosquito was like, you have to get in the boat. And he didn't even, like, get in the boat, but he carried it. But, like, that counted. You know, like, I can think of, like, so many things that I've done that were just literally, I did them for the formality of doing them. But they, like, that part really didn't even need to happen. And, like, I don't know. I just feel, I don't know, I guess, like, jaded about that topic because it, like, really pissed me off. But anyway, that was the mosquito. The mosquito was bureaucracy. Now, next chapter is kind of intense, and it's called Always. Always, I wanna be with you and make believe with you. Okay, never mind. So Always, and the main characters are these butterflies. In the afternoon, Grasshopper saw a mushroom. It was growing on the edge of the road. I will rest my feet, he said. Grasshopper sat on the mushroom. 3 butterflies flew down. Grasshopper, said the butterflies, you will have to move. Yes, said the first butterfly, you are sitting on our place. Every afternoon at this time we fly to this mushroom and we sit down on it for a while. There are lots of other mushrooms, said the grasshopper. They will not do, said the second butterfly. This is the mushroom we always sit on. Grasshopper got up. 3 butterflies sat down. Each and every day we do the same thing at the same time, said the third butterfly. We like it that way. We wake up in the morning, said the first butterfly. We scratch our heads 3 times. Always, said the second butterfly. We open and close our wings 4 times, and we fly in a circle 6 times. Always, said the third butterfly. We go to the same tree and eat the same lunch every day. Always, said the first butterfly. After lunch, we sit on the same sunflower and take the same nap. We have the same dream. What sort of dream? Asked Grasshopper. We dream that we are sitting on a sunflower taking a nap, said the second butterfly. Always, said the third butterfly. Then we wake up and scratch our heads 3 more times. We fly in circles 6 more times. Then we come here, said the first butterfly. We sit down on this mushroom. Always, said the second butterfly. Don't you change anything? Asked the grasshopper. No, never, said the butterflies. Each day is fine for us. Grasshopper, said the butterflies, we like talking to you. We will meet you every day at this time. You will sit on this mushroom, and you will sit right there, and we will tell you about our scratching and our flying, and we will tell you about our napping and our dreaming, and you will listen the way you are listening now. No, said the grasshopper, I am sorry, but I will not be here. I will be moving on. I will be doing new things. That's too bad, said the butterflies. We will miss you, Grasshopper. Do you really do something different every day of your life? Always, said the grasshopper. Always and always. He said goodbye to the butterflies and walked quickly down the road. Like, he's leaving them with their little rituals. All right. We're getting there. There's only 2 more characters. There's only 2 more characters. Okay. So the butterflies are traditionalists, and traditionalism is upholding tradition, especially as to resist change. So yeah, the butterflies do not want to change their schedule. They don't want to change their, like, anything that they do. Even the place that they go, they don't want to change. And they don't even want to change their dream, which I think is, like, the point. Because it's like they don't aspire to anything different. Like, you will do this activity and you will do the same thing every day until you die, I guess. And yeah, they wanted the grasshopper to join, but he was like, nah, I'm not, like, gonna, like, conform to this, like, thing that y'all do just because you want to add me to your schedule, which, like, I feel like these days I have, like, some friends that, like, I feel like they have a certain schedule that they, like, want me to join, but, like, I don't feel like I actually want to join it because it's not, like, I feel like I'm, like, making a compromise for joining their like, hangout or study time or whatever they want to do, or, like, going out of town or whatever. And I feel like the thing that's happening to me is what happened with the Beatles, is that they're just like, oh, you don't want to do this, like, bye. And it's, like, not fair. But anyway, yeah, the butterflies, I think, were the easiest to like, they were so obvious. Like, they're just, like, traditionalist. Like, they don't change at all. Like, even if there's something new, no. Well, they kind of tried to adapt something new because they wanted the grasshopper to do it, but they wanted him to do it exactly the way they always did it. And he would be in their schedule exactly the way that they want him to do it. Okay. The last chapter is At Evening. In the evening, Grasshopper walked slowly along the road. The sun was going down. The road was soft and quiet. Grasshopper heard a loud sound. Zoom! Grasshopper heard another noise. Zoom! He saw 2 dragonflies in the air. There's always 2 of those things. They're, like, always like this. Like, I've never seen a dragonfly, like, by itself. They're always, like, what are they doing? Mating? Like this? Like, I never seen them not attached. But anyway, he saw 2 dragonflies in the air. Poor Grasshopper, said the dragonflies. We are flying fast. You are only walking. That is very sad. It's not sad, said Grasshopper. I like to walk. Dragonflies flew over Grasshopper's head. We can see so many things from up here, said Dragonflies. All you can see is that road. I like this road, said Grasshopper. And I can see flowers growing along the side of the road. We are zipping and zooming, said the first dragonfly. We don't have time to look at any flowers. They're, like, in their little Teslas, I guess. Okay. I can see leaves moving in the trees, said Grasshopper. We are looping. We are spinning, said the second dragonfly. We do not have time to look at leaves. I can see the sunset over the mountains, said Grasshopper. What sunset? What mountains? Asked the dragonflies. We are diving and dipping. There is no time to look at sunsets and mountains. All right, then. Zoom! The 2 dragonflies raced across the sky. Soon as they were gone, the world was quiet again. The sky became dark. The grasshopper watched the moon rising over the land. He watched the stars come out. He was happy to be walking slowly down the road. Grasshopper was tired. He lay down in a soft place. He knew that in the morning the road would still be there, taking him on and on to wherever he wanted to go. Okay, the end. All right, Reading Rainbow vibes here. All right, not really, because I read that so trashily. Like, I really don't know how I'm an English teacher, because honest, that was questionable. All right, so evening, the dragonflies. Remember earlier I said there was, like, 2 more characters left? Well, obviously one of them is the grasshopper, but anyway, not the 2 dragonflies separately, just whatever. So the dragonflies are kind of like the YOLO hedonists, because the definition of hedonism is a pursuit of pleasure and self-indulgence. And that's all they cared about. Like, they didn't want to see the sunset. They didn't care about the grasshopper's perspective, that he enjoyed what he was doing. They were just like, no, screw that. Like, we have more fun. We get it. We run this, like, step aside. They were, like, really proud of the fact that they were, like, living so fast and they were, like, hustling. I don't think these are, like, the hustling bros. Like, I don't even think they're, like, the cryptocurrency type people. I feel like they're kind of just, like, the people that have, like, they're always showing on their Instagram, like, oh, I'm in Dubai, I'm on a yacht, and like, but then it's like kind of fake. Like, it's not even like the real deal, the real situation. Like, the circumstances on how they got to that point might actually not be great, but they don't care about taking the scenery. It's like, I can see it later. Like, YOLO. Like, they want to do everything like fast, like instant gratification. There's another like alarm truck. Another fire truck and ambulance. And also the festival music stopped, so I'm a little bit concerned, but it probably isn't anything. Like, I kind of live between, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, because I really don't need this video to be longer than it is, but I live between like I guess I'm kind of in like the triangle of where the hospitals are. So like there's like St. Mary's like that way, and then there's like the, you know, like the provincial hospital is like that point of the triangle, like going that way. So like 1, 2, and then down there is like there's 2 major hospitals like that way. So like sometimes there is just a lot of like ambulances and whatever in this neighborhood, but like it will never cease to stress me out to see an ambulance stuck in traffic in Korea. Like, why can they not just like boop boop out of the way? But anyway, I think I've talked about this before, but anyway, it stresses me. But back to the dragonflies. They don't care about living a slow life. They just want to enjoy being like living fast, like, you know, which, I mean, I guess I don't personally get the appeal to that, but I guess like some people do enjoy like running around. I definitely like staying in my house, as you can see in my little NPC hoodie. So yeah, the last character is the grasshopper. Now, what do you think the grasshopper, I thought, what philosophy principle I thought the grasshopper was? I'm gonna let you guess for a second. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so I say this stuff like I'm gonna edit this video with like little pop-ups, like a little quiz, like choose ABC. No, you will be lucky if I put timestamps in this video. If there's timestamps, I must have magically like captured a brain cell in the time between me filming this and uploading it. So anyway, the grasshopper, I said, represented stoicism, because the pillars of stoicism are wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. You want to maximize your positive emotions and reduce negative emotions and hone your own personal character. And like, if you look at the whole story, which I'm not going to read again because I was supposed to take notes on that, but I had to take my desk nap. But like in each of the stories, like the grasshopper was like doing things that align with stoicism. Like in the club, he voiced his own opinions about not just liking morning, that he liked night and afternoon as well. And then when he was kicked out from said club, he wasn't like in despair about being like kicked out. He just like enjoyed like that morning in the sunshine, and he kept going. And then in the house, he was just wandering and getting food. There's another ambulance. I hope nothing happened. He just decided to have his lunch, right? And he ate an apple that he found. Like, I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Sorry, I'm disoriented. But when he was like criticized by the worm, he just like apologized, and he tried to like help the worm catch his house. Like, he didn't just let it roll away. He did try to help him, but then like, you know, he couldn't. And then the the grasshopper, like, after he left, like, after the worm was like, oh, I got a new house, he just keeps going. And he saw that there was, like, all these other apples in the trees. So he was kind of like, oh, there is a solution, right? Like, he didn't feel angry, or he didn't feel like, the worm was, like, so selfish. He could have just easily gotten any other apple. He was just being angry about this apple, like, he kind of just, like, took in the situation. And then the sweeper, I said earlier, he told the sweeper, the fly, to, like, take a break, and that, like, it wasn't even that dirty outside, like, like, it's supposed to be this way. And he didn't really listen, but he didn't, like, stand there and argue with them. He was just like, okay, fine, like, good luck with that journey you're on, but, not my circus, not my monkey, clown, not my zoo, not my monkey, not my circus, not my clown. Like, he just left, right? So, yeah, respect. And then the voyage, the little bureaucrat mosquito, he didn't, like, argue with the mosquito about, like, well, it's stupid that I have to ride in this boat if I can just walk. He complied best he could. Like, he just went through the situation. And he didn't like, belittle the mosquito for, like, not like, he wasn't like, oh, you think you're an expert, but, like, I don't need you to, like, he just, like, he was like, okay. And then he even thanked the mosquito for, like, giving him a ride, right? So, yeah. And then always, he, also, he, like, respected their boundaries too. Like, they had their traditions, but then he he wasn't into it, and he just said, firmly and respectfully, no, like, no, I'm sorry, I will not be here. I'll be moving on to do new things, which moving on and doing new things is, like, I guess, a big part of, like, stoicism as well. So, like, self-improvement and character development and whatnot. So, yeah. And then in the evening, the dragonflies, that there's more ambulances. Like, I really feel like I sound crazy because I don't think the ambulance audio is picking up, but there's, like, a lot of ambulances going toward the university. And I, like, when I get off of this, I'm probably gonna, like, check the Facebook page of this city to see if, like, something happened, because that is, something ain't right. Okay. But yeah, the dragonflies were like, oh, it's so pathetic you're on the road. That's very sad. But he said, like, it's not sad. And then he liked to walk, and he liked to see the flowers on the side of the path. And, like, they didn't care about it. But, I mean, he didn't seem like he was defeated by them telling him that his, like, path on the road was, like, ghetto and, like, lame. He just was like, oh, well, I like it. And, I can see, the mountains and all this other great stuff. And you guys just, don't appreciate it. But, like, it's there. And if you, wanted to, you could. But they just kind of were like, whatever. And he also was just like, you know what? It's okay. Because he was happy when the stars came out. And he was happy to be walking down the road. So, I mean, it didn't bother him. It just, like, rolled off his back, like, water off a duck. Why do I say so many idioms during these videos? I don't speak like this in, like, normal day-to-day conversation. I actually probably don't really talk to that many people in general, but you know what I mean. Anyway, and at the end, he the line that I was like, this is just straight up, like, stoicism word for word, is he knew in the morning that the road would still be there, taking him on and on to wherever he wanted to go. Which is, like, yeah, that's, like, I feel like stoicism in, like, a nutshell. So, welcome. I mean, that was my TED Talk. I hear another ambulance in the distance. I really, like, guys, if this was, like, some type of, like, crazy event, like, now I'm on, like, some iceberg list of, like, that one YouTuber that, like, filmed something during a disaster, which I don't want to be. Like, I'm hoping there was just, like, a small fire or something, because it's that time of year. Like, people's houses are getting on fire. They're turning on those space heaters that look like a fan. Yeah, anyway, Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I'm sure it was crazy because I narrated that book like a crazy, but like I hope it was giving going to Noraebang and being both of the people in the duet, like being the man and the woman in the duet. I hope that's what it was giving you, like both people in total eclipse of the heart by one person, and still get like 100 points. Well, probably 80 points because I think you wouldn't be able to. But anyway, you know what I mean. Like, I hope that I gave you that experience. And please comment if I am just like totally having like a crazy moment in reading this book, and this book is just like a cute little story about bugs in the forest, or like, do you think because I looked up the Wikipedia after I did these notes, right? Because I was like, what do other people think about this book? The Wikipedia doesn't even have a link to this book. Like, it's on his bibliography page, but there is no, like, you cannot click it about this book. There is nothing about this book, okay? So, I don't know, like, is this some, like, underground street, urban legend about the meaning of that book, or what? You know, like, yeah. But if there's any other children's books you recommend me to react to, this was actually really fun. So, like, and most children's books are on YouTube Kids, so I can just like watch it, like watch someone else read a book and just like take notes on it if you want. You know, pick a childhood favorite. I will listen to it, you know, some Stella Luna or whatever, since it's October, but I can't promise that I'll get it done by October because yeah, but bye. I gotta go on the internet and see what happened outside, and if I need to go investigate in real life because I'm kind of nosy. So, yeah. Bye.